Hi, I'm Christine Venus and I'm your astrologer. Today we're going to be discussing the weekly astrology. So we have a lot in store this week. If you haven't seen my video already on the Venus and Mars conjunction, they're meeting 3 times, conjuncting 3 times over the next month. So we've got a whole month of this amazing, passionate energy from the two of them. I'll link my video so that you can watch that to find out more what's in store for your love, relationships, projects, all these amazing things that can be manifesting during this time. So today we'll go through the weekly astrology, then we'll go through the full moon that's coming up as well during that, and we'll go through a reading for each sign for the full moon and how that may be manifesting for you. So this week is possibly a week of love and endings, or where they're starting to begin and possibly manifesting, or the action being taken when Venus and Mars meet that Pluto. So Mars and Venus will meet Pluto on the 2nd, 3rd of March, and that's when the action towards our values and the really deep truths will come out, and we won't have any choice but to pursue them. Things will have to be transformed on that day, basically, or from there forward, so that we can have the amazing other things come into our life. Okay, so now this amazing Venus and Mars energy, so they're starting to conjunct now. So today is the 13th for me here in Australia. So as of the 12th, Venus and Mars were starting to make their conjunction, starting to come together. Now when Venus and Mars come together, as I said, watch the video, but they technically have sex, or they are at love or at war, basically. So they're either passionate together, or they're fighting, or it's passionate fighting, passionate love making, whatever it is. They're in Capricorn though, so they're coming together to make logical decisions, especially this first conjunction. They're really coming together with their values and their desires, and melding them together in a sense. So Mars will drive us to align with Venus and our values, and pretty much be able to start us. It's a journey. The two of them are journeying together into something that we're going to be having and creating for a long time. Something that is going to be something that we're going to build from and put a lot of time and energy and work and effort into. So right now they're together. Mars is going to start to take off. Mars will take the lead. That means the masculine energy will start to take control. At the moment Venus is in front, so Venus is driving that. The desire and the passion will take over, and Mars wants to charge ahead, and Venus will follow behind, basically. He wants to charge ahead with those, to achieve those goals and those plans that Venus and Mars are putting into place right now, and tomorrow during Valentine's Day, and whatever, as we speak. So we have the full moon in Leo this week. So full moon is a full moon is when the new moon the moon and the sun are in opposites. So they're making an opposition. So the sun is highlighting that moon energy. So the sun is what lights things up, illuminates things, and it's illuminating our feelings and our emotions and our internal self. So it's happening on the 16th, so that's Wednesday or Thursday, depending where you are. And Leo is all about creativity. It's all about love. It's about romance. It's about, being dramatic and putting yourself out there. It's passionate. It's a protective sign. So the main theme is love, really. It's all about love and what's in our heart, and what truly makes us happy, and what we find fun, and what we're passionate about. It really is. It's that 5th house is about passion as well. Sorry, that Leo energy, not 5th house, is about passion. So this full moon is very faded too, because it'll be making square to the nodes. So it'll be a grand cross, because we've got the moon and sun across from each other, and then we've got that Scorpio and Taurus energy across from each other with the north and south node there. So this square is really going to push the moon and into action. And the full moons are all about releasing, letting go. It's a culmination point. It's when things are coming to completion. It can be a celebration as well of something, or it can just be, yeah, straight up endings, a loss, things that are just we need to let go of. We're at that full moon phase, so the moon will start to get smaller now as it goes through its cycle, and we release. We're not in that manifestation mode, we're in the release mode now, or we will be after that full moon. So because it's faded events and things can happen, faded people can come into our lives when the eclipse are involved. It brings change, especially with that square energy. It's forcing or pushing us in some way to make change or to take action or go in a certain direction. We may have to go on a different path to what we planned, what we originally thought we'd have to, something that's more in alignment with us and getting us on the right path for those right people and relationships and business partners and everything else as well that's happening right now. It's a huge energy for that. So yeah, as I had a lot of releasing and letting go, using the truth to empower us as well. And yeah, letting go of something that we loved before, that we no longer have the same love for or same passion, or it's just something that's no longer serving us and it's no longer a part of our purpose, no longer a part of our destiny. So, so this is a tricky one with the opposition and the release point being Aquarius. So when we're looking at the moon, the full moon, we're looking at where the opposition is, because that's the release point. That's where we can go to help ease that emotional energy from the moon and help with that, because the sun is where the energy comes from to push that, and it's what's helping light it up and illuminate it. So that's that Aquarius energy. So it's the higher, bigger picture. It's our inspirations. It's our goals, in a sense, that are, you know, part of the bigger picture. It's turning to friends and social groups, communities, to help make like big decisions of the heart, maybe if they involve a lot of people, or you know, it's like everyone in a business coming together and voting on the same decision or thing or something like that. It could be as well. Or a social group deciding on, you know, a new project to pursue or something like that. Maybe like a kids community group or something, you know, anything that where people are coming together to make a decision in some way, possibly. Or we're going to our friends to help to get advice or to get a different perspective, because it's opposite too. So it's to see a different perspective in some way and to see the bigger perspective, that's for sure. So it's the opposition too is about what I love, what lights me up, what makes me happy, versus the collective, versus the outside influences, what other people's expectations of me, what social status what the group wants, what people may think, worries about that. So it's in that opposition. So what I really want deep down, what I know is true for me, and what everyone thinks is best for me, or what people might think or say. And you know, when it's about Leo, you know, the choice is always, we always have to follow our heart. It's always the important thing to do, is follow our heart. Even if, you know, we end up somewhere we might not have planned, it's always going to be the right choice. So what is right for us may not always be right for everyone else. That's the thing too. But the sun is illuminating that, and it's giving that, it's that helping energy to help us see something. So that's it. So as part of that too is that we will be searching outside ourselves, we could be searching outside ourselves too much as well, searching you know, in the collective or out with wherever, instead of like we're missing the point and seeing that the answers are right inside of us, in our heart as well. So that's pretty much the full moon energy with those squares to the nodes. I'll go through each sign from Aries to Pisces at the end of this. We'll just talk about a couple more things that are affecting the energies this week, just quickly. So Feb 14th, so that's tomorrow, Mercury's entering Aquarius. Mercury will be leaving Capricorn, so that's kind of good. It's kind of nicer to be in Aquarius because Mercury is an intellectual sign, and being in Aquarius an intellectual sign, and it can work well together, and we can really like get better on our thought, not get better, but get clearer on our thought processes as well. So it's positive for intellectual work. It helps us be more objective and to like see things not so much from an emotional point of view. It's good for like-minded people coming together with ideas and scientific breakthroughs, inventive ideas that help the collective or help things on a large scale that like help humanity in some way or help the environment as well. We can feel more intellectual, as I said, and more stimulated as well by this energy. Then on the 17th, and it's for a few days, 17th to 22nd, we've got Jupiter sextiling Uranus, which is quite beautiful. It's quite nice. The sextile is something that's pleasurable, and it's positive for people because it's Uranus and it's the collective and people as well. It's positive for people trying to do good things for the environment, for the earth, or for humanity in general. We can feel more inspired by things or people that are unique or different and offer some kind of other point of view or perspective or unique idea, or just have something else to bring to the table. We can have more conversations, groups coming together to evolve and to for some spiritual purpose or higher purpose or whatever. So, also it will be activating the people for the greater good. So we could see some expansion or growth come about because that's the Jupiter energy too when it comes to like the collective and protests and people coming together in some way for the bigger, higher purpose. It's going to liberation is going to be supported by this energy, the sextile helping those to step up in the community that need to, and having that community support that you need to gain success in your endeavors for any of those sorts of things. So Uranus is exciting, it's inspirational energy, it's expansive energy with Jupiter. It's here to help shake us up. Uranus is always about shaking or stirring things up, to get us out of our stuck energy into the flow, to help us grow and change something. It always brings change something to get us out of our comfort zone, get us more in alignment. Then Feb 18th, so that must be getting towards the end of the week. We're finishing on the 20th. The sun enters Pisces, so that is beautiful, that Pisces energy. So it's more of a happy, positive energy for the month. We're moving out of that Aquarius, that more Saturnian ruled energy. And it doesn't have as much vitality, the sun in Pisces. It's watery, it's slower, it's more sensitive and dreamy, but we can tap into our creativity and our beauty. We can channel our energy to in a different way to things that are more pleasurable as well, that's for sure, and imaginative and dreamy, and that make us feel good. It's a compassionate energy too, so we can see compassion rise on the planet. We can also tap into that and help others in some way, or feel into other people's energy and their emotions. But also we can get over emotional and in too many energies around us, and that's where we need to escape and need to get away and retreat. And sometimes Pisces energy can bring in the drugs and the alcohol and escapism and video games and all those other sorts of things that Pisces likes to do. And also, sometimes it can bring that deceptive energy where we can deceive ourselves, where we're not seeing things with clearly, seeing things with rose-tinted glasses, where we're caught up in the fantasy, basically. Which can, isn't always a bad thing. Like, we need to fantasize, we need to be able to dream, and we need to be able to create. All of that comes together. So we just need to make sure that sometimes we ground ourselves back down and make sure that it's practical and realistic in some way. But we can't, how are we supposed to manifest and create these amazing things that we really don't even know we can, if we don't have that dreaminess. Like, there's a need for all of the energies. We can put some more effort into our spiritual practices, take some time to retreat and recover and replenish ourselves and regenerate. Maybe have some more naps and meditations that we do over the next month, or just sleeping a lot longer, basically, being stuck in dream world, or just lazing about or whatever. So that's the weekly energies and what's happening and what's going on. So thanks for listening to that. Now we're going to get into each sign by one. So we're going to be looking at where that full moon energy is for you. So that opposition energy. So where Leo is, where Aquarius is in your chart. And then we've got the North Node too in that Taurus energy and where that will be affecting you. So trying to tie those few things together and seeing what will happen. So the moon is, you know, the letting go, the releasing point. The sun is illuminating, highlighting, helping us. And the North Node is pushing us, nudging us to take that action, that destined action. So let's go through the signs. Okay. So for Aries, this is going to be the full moon in your fifth house. So the fifth house is all about what we love, what lights us up, what makes us happy. It's children, it's our inner child self, it's pleasure, it's our romance, it's our love, it's our dating, that sort of thing. It's our creative expression, it's where we can be artistic. So those sorts of things is, you know, where you will be completion, culminating, ending, releasing, all of that stuff, letting go of something there, coming to a completion as well, something when in regards to that. And the helping hand, the what's being illuminated, and that the friendship groups, the communities you're a part of, the bigger, higher picture, your recognition, what you're doing for a bigger, higher purpose, the friendship groups, networks, community groups, all of that influencing and helping you to, you know, end something or see what needs to end or something in some way in those themes. And that push is coming from the finances, from the money, from the skills and abilities, the financial security. So there's something tied in with all those three themes there that's working for you during this full moon. So for Taurus, this is the full moon's happening in your fourth house. The fourth house is all about our home, our family, where we nurture and care for ourselves. It's our family heritage and ties, the way we grew up. So all of that is coming under this full moon to be released, let go, completion, ending point, a loss of some sort, whatever, something to do with that. And the helping hand, what's being illuminating it or highlighting it, is that 10th house. So career, work, your reputation, your goals, what you're building, what you're doing out in the world, basically, your career and your work. And then that push and that nudge is coming from that first house. So the self, so something to do with you and what you're about and what you're doing and the way you want to come across and present yourself, maybe your appearance or something like that. Maybe you're, moving homes or something like that, which then, can affect your job or something like that, or the job, you have to change jobs, that's pushing you to move home or something like that, and it's having you to change you and who you are, and some sense of something like that there. Okay, so for Gemini, so this full moon is in the third house. So the third house is our siblings, communication, it's our talking, writing, speaking, it's the local places that we go to, our local environment, it's the short distance places that we travel to, that sort of thing. It's our learning, the way that we learn. It's like any short courses that we take. It's our mindset as well, our mind, our thoughts, so the way we think. So releasing, letting go, ending, culmination point there. The helping hand, whatever it is, illuminating, coming from the ninth house. So our spirituality, our beliefs, our uh, um, higher education, marriage. That can be that ninth house too. So I mean, like third house could be, you know, finishing, completing a short course and then moving to university, and the push is coming to like end something or finish something or complete something from the 12th house, or letting go, stopping the self-sabotaging behavior in some way, or something to do with our dream. So yeah, it could be like you're studying, so you've been studying some short or small thing or learning something yourself, and now you want to really commit and do something that's like university that's really going to upgrade you, or some kind of like growth, something's going to grow you in some way. And it's to do with your dreams, that 12th house energy, or your spirituality or something like that. So find a connection between those three for you. Okay, so for Cancer, we are up to Cancer. So for Cancer rising, so the full moon's happening in the second house. The second house is all about our finances, our money, our skills, gifts, and abilities, our ability to have financial stability and security and stuff like that, our self-worth. So a releasing, letting go, completion, finishing, ending point, somewhere in those themes there for you in that. And then the eighth house, the helping hand, the push, the illumination is coming from a death, a rebirth, a transformation, some kind of healing, some kind of sex trauma, psychological issue, something to do with control or power issues. Could be your partner's resources or finances or money, shared resources, taxes, inheritance, insurances, banks, something to do with that, possibly. Any of those themes. And then that push is coming from the friends, friendship groups, the social circles, the networks, connections that are out in the world, the high inspirations, something along those lines. Okay, so for Leo rising, this is you. This is your first house. So it's all about the self. It's the physical body. It's you know, your outlook on life, the way that you come across, the way you perceive yourself, the way that you put yourself out there, what is what's encouraging you, basically, your energy. So there could be, yeah, an ending within something to do with yourself, with you, your brand, some kind of completion, ending point, something there. Something about you as an individual. And then that seventh house, moving towards, you know, that helping hand energy, illuminating that sun, in that seventh house of relationships, business partnerships, your contracts and agreements with other people in those. And it can be like your open enemies too, that seventh house. So partnerships, relationships, anything like that. And that push is coming from the career, work, your reputation, your goals, what you're building, those sorts of things. So for Virgo rising, this is happening in your 12th house, the full moon. So the 12th house is, we're talking about full moon being endings, completion, letting go, culmination point, celebration, all of that. And the 12th house is endings, it's loss, it's our spirituality, it's our connection with God, the universe, our higher self. It's where we self-sabotage ourselves, where we hide away and retreat. It can be hospitals, it can be institutions, any of those sorts of things. So some kind of finishing point there for you. And then that sun, helping hand, illuminating from the 6th house, and the 6th house is our health, it's our daily practices, it's our nutrition, it's our body, and how we're looking after it. It's our work, as you know, or if we were going to uni every day, it would be that, it'd be our work, it'd be a daily organization and our tasks that we do on a daily basis, and co-workers, that sort of thing as well. So that's that helpful hand, that sun. And the 9th house, where we're getting that nudge from, that push, that action is coming from our higher education, our spirituality, philosophy. It could be marriage, something to do with our beliefs and our ethics. It could be to do with long distance travel, other cultures, teaching, any of those sorts of things. Okay, so for Libra rising. So for Libra, this is the 11th house, the full moon. So the full moon in the 11th house. So the 11th house is your friendship groups, your connections in communities, your social groups. It's your higher aspirations, what you're doing out in the world, the bigger picture. And yeah, so there's some kind of completion, ending, something there with that 11th house. And where the helping hand or the illumination is coming from is that 5th house. So it's children, it's what lights us up, what makes us happy. It's our heart, it's our love, it's our play, it's our pleasure, it's our joy, it's our creativity, our passion, it's our hobbies as well. All of those things coming to light, basically. Or helping out there with that, pushing that energy. So the push and the action and the drive, whatever, is coming from the 8th house. So that's death, rebirth, transformation, healing. It's taxes, inheritance, insurances, other people's money and resources, finances. It's sex, trauma, psychological issues, things that are considered taboo, astrology, tarot, or anything like that as well. And yeah, it could be our partner's money as well, something like that. Okay, so for Scorpio. So for Scorpio rising, so this is the 10th house. So the 10th house is the full moon, the completion, the ending point for you is something to do with career, your reputation, something you're building, something you're doing to do with goals or your public reputation. I just said that, but any of those sorts of things, leaders and in the world, any of that stuff, public figures, anything to do with that for you, are releasing, letting go of, and ending. And then 4th house, where that helping hand or that support is coming from, is from that 4th house of home, family, our heritage, our ancestors, our where we nurture and care for ourselves, like our safe environment, our foundation, that sort of thing. And that push, that drive, that forcing energy is coming from the North Node, from the 7th house of relationships. So that's your one-on-one relationships, your partnerships, your business partnerships, your contracts, your partner, your wife, your husband, any of those sorts of things as well, or those people as well, I should say. So Sagittarius rising. So 9th house for you. So the 9th house is our philosophy. It's our higher education. It's our beliefs, our ethics. It's the teaching energy, whether we be a teacher, we're looking for a guru. It's long distance travel. It's other cultures. So any of those things, releasing, letting go of, completion point for you. So where the helping hand is coming from is that 3rd house. So from siblings, from extended family, from neighbors, from our local environment, from communication, from our mind and our thoughts and our ideas, or something like that, through that writing, speaking, talking, any of that sort of networking stuff as well. That push is coming from the North Node, so from the 6th house of our health and well-being, our exercise, our body, what we do on a daily basis, how we're taking care of ourselves, our work, our co-workers, our day-to-day tasks and organization, basically. So for Capricorn rising, so for you, this full moon's in the 8th house, so the ending, letting go, completion for you. So a death, a rebirth, it's transformation, it's intimacy, it's sex, it's psychological things, it's things that are taboo, things that are like astrology or tarot or anything like that. Things that do with control or power struggles. It could be other people's resources or money, our partners' money and finances. It could be banks and inheritances, taxes, insurances, any of those sorts of things where we have that ending. The 2nd house, where the helping hands coming from, is that our own personal finances, our ability to support ourselves, our skills and abilities, our self-worth, our confidence, our possessions, our real estate, our property, any of those sorts of things as well. The push is coming from that North Node, so children, it could be what makes us happy, what lights us up, our play, our pleasure, our hobbies, our creativity, our romance, our love, any of those sorts of things. Okay, so for Aquarius rising, so this is the 7th house. So 7th house is our relationship, so an ending, completion, culmination, celebration can be too. something coming to an end point for a relationship, for a business partnership, for a contract agreement, for an enemy or something too, it could be. So the helpful hand is coming from the first house, so from you supporting yourself, so yourself, your appearance, your brand, your self-expression, the way you present yourself, the way you come across, what you're putting yourself out there as. The North Node is pushing you in that fourth house of home, family, property, your roots, your heritage, your safe place, your local environment where you care and nurture for yourself, basically, your home, your family. Okay, so for Pisces, last one, Pisces rising. So the full moon's happening in the fifth house, the releasing, letting go, completion point for you, ending is around children, around play, pleasure, around our hobbies, our skill, our hobbies, and what we love, what makes us happy, maybe romance or some kind of creative project or love, something like that, ending, finishing, letting go. Then the helping hand, the 11th house, the friends, the friendship groups, the friendship circles, the social circles, the communities, the organizations that we're a part of, the higher aspirations, what we're doing for a bigger, higher purpose. The push is coming from the third house, from that North Node there, around siblings. It can be your local environment, it can be your local short distance travel that you do, it can be any short courses, your thought processes, your mind, so the way that you think, the way that you process information, and the way we communicate and talk and speak, any kind of like communication or information coming through like that. So that's pretty much it. That was a bit long-winded, but I hope that you were able to take something from that. It's always best to look for your rising sign. If you don't know how to do that, then go to astro.com, pull your chart up and find your rising sign. You need your time of birth. It's always essential. But make sure you give me a follow if you can. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like on the video if you can. Make sure you watch that Mars and Venus conjunction video because this is really powerful energy. Fated times right now. All the planets direct. We have like so much crazy stuff going on. So that's it for the week. If you need some kind of emotional support to help you like move through anything right now, I've just released a tapping video as well, emotional freedom technique. If you don't know what that is, check it out on my channel. Otherwise, I hope you have a great week. Remember to just do what's in your heart, what makes you happy, what lights you up, what you truly love. Just follow that, and everything will work out and be fine. So take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.